It just became day 3 of my hunger strike. I am a UCLA student currently on hunger strike in support of divestment from Israel. And I want to answer some frequently asked questions / comments about going on hunger strike. The number one asked question is, what are you going to do if UCLA doesn't respond? And the goal of a hunger strike is to strike until they have no choice to respond, which usually means like hospitalization or getting to a point where it's like making a big buzz in the news. So I plan on striking until they respond to me or until like I'm intubated, until I can't strike anymore.
My name is Maya. I am a third-year Palestinian UCLA student, and today marks the first day of my indefinite hunger strike in protest of my university's direct involvement of my people's genocide. Today marks the 68th day of no food or aid going into Gaza. The people of Gaza have reported that they are starving. My university uses our tuition money to invest in Israeli companies going on hunger strike to urge my university to divest from these companies, to stop the constant beratement of UCLA students who protest legally on campus for Palestine, and to urge my university to protect the undocumented students who are here learning from deportation. Today is day 7 of my hunger strike at UCLA, and it is the 77th anniversary of the Palestine.
Maya collapsed and was hospitalized yesterday, and the sad thing is UCLA is not going to do a goddamn thing. They're still going to pretend that they don't hear her at all. I know they're aware of what's going on, but they're still going to pretend that they don't hear her at all. And I'm actually proud of her, because she had a cause that she was willing to put her health and body on the line for, to have her voice be heard. And they do hear her. They're just choosing to ignore her and choosing to ignore thousands of other students who want them to divest.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So we got to talk about a pretty fascinating story out of UCLA, okay? Because the woke pro-Palestinian activists are back at it again, okay? They decided to stage a hunger strike, right? They have a hunger strike amid the Israel blockade of Gaza, okay? Because that conflict is still going on, right? It's a never-ending conflict that I don't think will ever have a real resolution. So, hey, regardless, these people continue to protest, and let's just say that this protest, this hunger strike, backfired after one of the students, Maya Abdullah, who's a woke activist on TikTok, she did not get the response that she thought she would get from UCLA, okay? Because apparently the woke activists want UCLA to divest from Israel, okay? They believe that UCLA somehow, some way controls what happens with the Palestinians in Gaza. And again, this is why they're doing it. And again, she said she was going to do it until she gets a response from the university. And she was shocked to find out that the university really didn't give a damn about their little hunger strike.
Hi, my name is Maya, and I'm on day 6 of my hunger strike. Although there has been no response from UCLA about my hunger strike, I have been made aware that they know about the strike and they are monitoring it. UCLA claims to care deeply about the health and safety of its students, yet has failed to directly speak to me about my hunger strike. Many people do not know just how involved UCLA and other universities across the country are in the Palestinian genocide. Universities and institutions of learning are run like for-profit businesses. They hold billions of dollars in investments and private equity funds. This means the people who run this university directly profit from the slaughter of Palestinian children. I'm going to read from Unmasking UCLA, which is a white paper made by diligent activists at our school who have been researching and talking about divestment far before I've been here. It is estimated that UC Investments indirectly hold $12.3 billion worth of publicly traded companies with documented ties to apartheid and genocide. Of the $12.3 billion, $1.6 billion is in weapons manufacturers, $8.7 billion is in information technology companies that have Israeli government contracts, and $268 million is in the surveillance and cyber warfare industry. These numbers are more than likely an underestimation of just how much money they are investing into Israel. I am asking UCLA to hold a public meeting with me to reopen the negotiations to stop investing in companies supporting the Palestinian genocide. I'm also asking for UCLA to protect both the documented and undocumented students who are suffering unlawfully for exercising their legal right to protest against the genocide. I'd also like to say a big thank you to everyone who has tagged the university, spammed them in their comments, and tagged news sites. Because of you, UCLA knows about the hunger strikes, and we're starting to get traction in the news. Thank you so much for all you do, and we, the students, will never give up on the people of Palestine.
I also want to tell you guys what's going on like in my body because it's been pretty intense. Obviously, I have not eaten food in 5 days. I've just been drinking water and coconut water and electrolytes. So the first thing that's very surprising and strange is I have been sweating more than I have literally sweat in my entire life. I don't know the science behind any of this, but like I wake up in pools of sweat. The next one is really gross, okay, TMI. I'm consuming like so much water and no food that water is coming out. Number 1 and number 2.
Life can change in an instant. One moment you're fine, the next, well, everything is different. You're left with questions, with pain, with the feeling that you've been wrong, and the system, well, it feels like it is built against you. This is why you need somebody that's on your side, somebody that understands, somebody that will fight for you. At Morgan & Morgan, they're not just lawyers, they're advocates. They're here to give you a voice when yours feels lost. They've recovered billions for people just like you. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm, takes on all types of injury cases from car accidents to medical malpractice. They fight for your rights and the compensation that you deserve if you become their client so that you can focus on healing. They've achieved significant verdicts over the past few months for the victims involved in life-altering car crashes, like out in Florida, a $12 million verdict, which was over 34 times the highest insurance offer. And they work on a contingency fee basis, which means that you don't pay unless you win. It's really that simple, to be honest with you. So you can start your claim now with Morgan & Morgan at forthepeople.com/blackconservative, which will be in the description below, right? The link will be in the description below, or you can scan the QR code on the screen with your phone's camera. Yeah, so you see that you heard that. Okay. UCLA apparently never gave a damn, right? They never set up this meeting. They didn't care at all about these students doing this hunger strike. And this woman, this activist ended up passing out, right? She ended up passing out after 9 days without food, okay? And some people are blaming UCLA. They're saying it's UCLA's fault that these individuals decided to go on a hunger strike to the point where they pass out over this conflict. Take a look.
This is what happens when UCLA ignores their students. She's going to the hospital. She just passed out. UCLA, please hear her. She's literally being hospitalized because of you. This is on you, UCLA.
Before I say anything in this video, I want to say thank you to everybody who's checked up on me. It's been a very wild couple of days, and I just wanted to update you guys on what happened. So on day 9 of my hunger strike as a UCLA Palestinian student, I very unexpectedly passed out at my school and had to be rushed to the hospital in an ambulance. Before I passed out, I was walking in a protest and I felt lightheaded, but I hadn't felt like I was going to pass out. And then when I got to school, we walked for like 10 minutes before I hit the ground. I was very lucky to be with friends who called the ambulance immediately. I had a feeling that I was going to be hospitalized from before, and I told my friends not to call the ambulance if I did faint because I don't have the funds to pay the ambulance bill. But when I was unconscious, I just had to go in the ambulance. And when they came and found me, I was choking on my vomit a little bit, and then they put me on my side, and I didn't have anything in my stomach, so it was just like bile. But then they took me to the hospital. In the ambulance, they gave me an EKG, and they found out that my resting heart rate was 40% normal than the average person's resting heart rate, which is really scary. It was like I was running a lot, and I was just laying down. So that was scary, and they were really scared that I had done like some type of damage to my heart. So I wasn't hospitalized just because I wasn't eating. That was definitely a factor, but there were multiple factors involved in why I had to go to the hospital and why I fainted. The first factor was obviously I didn't eat for 9 days. And then the second factor was on day 5, I told you guys that I started my period, and I have extremely heavy periods. So the combination of not eating and losing like a large amount of blood was just very hard for my body. And then walking in the protest and it being kind of hot, my body just like couldn't handle the combination of all things, which made me pass out. I didn't have my phone when I was in the hospital, so I'm just like replying to people now. Thank you so much to everybody who reached out, and I just want to say a huge thank you to my comrades and friends that showed up to the hospital immediately. My friends at the Chapman SJP and my friends at the Long Beach SJP, you guys are amazing. And also a big thank you to Guy on here. I'm going to tag him below for posting and updating everybody about my hospitalization. And to answer the big question, did UCLA respond to my hospitalization? No. When I was in the ambulance, the ambulance driver called UCLA and gave them a courtesy call to tell them that one of their students was rushed to the hospital, and UCLA administration literally never said anything. Even while I sat in the hospital, even while, you know, I got my 3 EKGs, and even today on Monday, they never responded. And yeah, I had a feeling that UCLA would never respond just because of the nature of the administration, but feeling like being a student at the school and literally going to the hospital and just asking for a conversation with the administration and not getting one is disheartening. I do not in any way feel like the hunger strike was a failure, because I think like it got media attention, and I think it did make UCLA uncomfortable, which was putting the pressure on them, which was my goal. And, you know, I think this is just a step towards divestment. I don't think it's one big thing that's going to make UCLA divest. I think it's a bunch of little things.
Nah, you failed. You failed big time. This was a huge L, okay? This is one of the biggest L's I've seen, okay, in a while. UCLA didn't respond. They didn't do a meeting. They didn't care that you passed out. They just didn't give a damn at all. And on top of that, she's probably stuck with a massive ambulance and hospital bill. For what? Right? For what? You didn't change a damn thing. You didn't change a damn thing at all. See, that's the thing. And some people say, oh, well, you know, she passed out. It's not funny, whatever. But it's like, to me, how are you blaming the school for something you chose to do, right? Your body, your choice. You chose, also it's doing finals as well too, okay? So you chose to hunger strike for 9 days, to not eat for 9 days in protest of a foreign conflict, something that's going on overseas, okay? I understand people are passionate about the issue. I get it, right? But you're harming yourself to try to force the school to do something. And even if the school does what you're demanding them to do, I don't think it's going to change a damn thing, okay? Which is why this hunger strike didn't change a damn thing. The only thing this woman accomplished was getting a bigger hospital bill and making a fool out of herself, right? Demanding that the university capitulate to her demands. They didn't even do a meeting, right? They didn't express any concern whatsoever. Even after she passed out and went to the hospital, they were like, okay, right? Whatever, right? We're going to keep it moving. Yeah, this is just fascinating stuff. It really is, okay? They are blaming UCLA for why they chose not to feed themselves, right? Why they chose to starve themselves in protest of a foreign conflict, right? And again, this woman passes out. She ends up in the hospital. She got a big hospital bill. She already said she can't afford it. So now you're stuck with this bill and you didn't accomplish anything. You didn't move the needle at all, okay? I think that basically kind of encapsulates a lot of these protests, a lot of these activists. It's a lot of virtue signaling, and these people don't actually really get anything done. They don't accomplish anything, and they're just agents of chaos. I mean, that's what you're seeing here, okay? That's exactly what you're seeing. So I just found this story to be fascinating. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.